We all admire success. We see the final result, the championship trophy, the groundbreaking invention, the multi-million-dollar business. But what we don't often see is the hidden foundation, the daily routine, the quiet, persistent effort that makes all that possible. It's the late nights, the early mornings, the consistent practice. The simple truth is, success isn't an event. It's the sum of your daily habits. In our first video, we explored the fascinating field of psychology. Today, we're diving deeper into one of its most powerful applications, the psychology of habits and how they can unlock your potential for success. Get ready to understand why the small things you do every day matter more than you think. First, there's the cue. This is the trigger, a location, a time of day, an emotion that tells your brain to go into automatic mode. For example, the cue might be the sound of your morning alarm. Next comes the routine. This is the behavior itself. After your alarm goes off, your routine might be to scroll social media for 20 minutes. Finally, there's the reward. This is the positive feeling your brain gets from completing the routine. The reward for scrolling might be a quick hit of dopamine from seeing new posts. Over time, this loop becomes so ingrained that the cue and the reward become neurologically linked, creating a craving. And that's how a habit is born. The key to success isn't eliminating bad habits entirely, but rather learning to manipulate this loop to work for you. The most challenging part of the habit loop is the craving stage. This isn't a conscious decision, it's a deep neurological urge. This craving is what drives us, and it's why breaking a habit can feel so difficult. For example, the craving isn't for the sugary donut itself, but for the energy boost or the comfort it provides. The key is to understand this craving and learn to fulfill it with a different routine. You can't just remove the old habit, you have to replace it with a new one that provides a similar reward. If your craving is for a short break at work, you could replace the check social media routine with stand up and stretch for 1 minute. The reward is the same, a brief mental escape, but the routine is now productive. Here's where most people get tripped up. They focus on the wrong metrics. Psychologically, we're drawn to what are called lag measures. These are the outcomes, the things you can only measure after the fact. Think of a scale. The number on the scale is a lag measure of your weight loss. You can't change it right now. The problem is, you can't act on a lag measure, it's too late. What you can act on are lead measures. These are the small, deliberate actions you take every day that directly influence the outcome. For weight loss, a lead measure is choosing a salad instead of a cheeseburger, or going for a walk after dinner. The psychology is simple, but profound. When you focus on lead measures, you feel a sense of control and progress. You build momentum, and that momentum is what sustains you. Success is not about the monumental goal, it's about mastering the small, repeatable actions that get you there. This feeling of momentum is a powerful psychological tool. Researchers have found that even small wins trigger the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine and creating a positive feedback loop. This isn't just about feeling good, it's about conditioning your brain to enjoy the process of progress itself. Think of it this way, the first time you put on your running shoes it might feel like a chore, but after a few days of completing that small lead measure, your brain starts to anticipate the reward. The momentum builds, and soon, what was once a monumental task becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of success. We can call this the psychological momentum effect. It's the reason why consistently hitting small, achievable targets can lead to exponential growth in the long run. Now, for the practical part, how do you actually build these powerful, success-oriented habits? Let's talk about two of the most effective psychological techniques, the 2-minute rule and habit stacking. The 2-minute rule comes from James Clear, author of Atomic Habits. The idea is to make starting a new habit so easy that you can't say no. If your goal is to read more, your 2-minute rule is to read 1 page. If your goal is to run a marathon, your 2-minute rule is to put on your running shoes. The point isn't to accomplish the whole task, it's to build the identity of a reader or a runner. Once you've done the easy part, it's often a lot harder to stop than to continue. You've already overcome the inertia. Next, we have habit stacking. This involves leveraging an existing habit to trigger a new one. For example, if you already have the habit of brewing coffee every morning, you can stack a new habit on top of it. By attaching a new desired behavior to an already established routine, you make it virtually effortless to start. What happens when you mess up? when you miss a day or even a week of your new habit. Most people give up entirely, and that's a major psychological pitfall. This is where the psychology of self-forgiveness and resilience comes in. Missing a day isn't a sign of failure, it's a data point. The real failure is giving up completely. The research shows that people who recover quickly from a setback are more likely to achieve their long-term goals. The don't break the chain mentality can actually be counterproductive, as it can lead to a what the hell effect where one misstep spirals into abandoning the habit altogether. Instead, if you miss a day, simply remind yourself of your identity as the person who does this and get back to it tomorrow. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. The road to success isn't a single dramatic sprint. It's a series of small, intentional steps taken day after day that create powerful and lasting change. Your habits are not your destiny. They are merely the reflection of past conditioning. But you, right now, have the power to write a new story. You can design the habits that will design your life. Start small, find your cues, stack your habits, reinforce them with small rewards. Forgive yourself when you falter. And most importantly, focus on becoming the person who already has the success you desire. If you want to keep exploring the psychology behind human behavior, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And in the comments below, I want you to tell me one small habit you're going to start tomorrow. I'll see you in the next video.